Hi, this is Carrie Peterson, Online Marketing Manager for Upper Deck. Today we are here with Tim Salmon. Tim, welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, so you played 14 seasons in Major League Baseball and you managed to stay on the same team. What was it like for you to finish up the career in Anaheim?
Yeah, well, it was an honor. I mean, it's definitely something you don't see very much in today's game, is being able to come up from the top to the bottom. I mean, the first Angel scout that signed me, all the way till my last game I played it was all about the Angels. So it's an amazing thing. Now that I'm retired, I can really appreciate it. It's nice to be associated with one club, and it says a lot about the longevity. I mean, there's in this game, guys move around a lot, and I just don't think you're going to see too many players sticking around that long anymore.
Absolutely. So you had a great career. You're Rookie of the Year in 1993, and you got a World Series ring in 2002. Of all of the games, all the moments, which do you treasure the most?
Well, without a doubt, I mean, the World Series experience and celebration on the field to get when we finally clinched. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Every player that ever steps on the field, I mean, they dream about getting in a World Series and ultimately being crowned a champion. And I was one of the few that was blessed and fortunate to be able to experience that.
So you also hit 299 career home runs. How badly did you want to just get up to that 300 mark?
I didn't. 299 is a better story.
There you go.
Everybody, if I hit 301, you could never ask me that question. So,
Exactly.
But no, it's 299. I mean, if it was 499, I'd be playing and till my legs fell off to get that last one. But it's just a nice round number at this point. But more than anything, 299. I mean, I played 14 years and had a good career, and that's really the significance of it. I mean, beyond that, there's nothing significantly important about it as far as the record books go. So it's just more of a something about being in the game a long time.
Great. So did you ever collect baseball cards or memorabilia growing up? And if so, do you have any cherished pieces that you hold dear?
You know what? As a kid, I collected them, but for all the wrong reasons. We used them as noisemakers on our bicycles. We hooked them to the spokes. But no, I grew up in Long Beach, and the Dodgers were really big in the heyday back in the mid-'70s. So I collected. It was funny. My brother and I think it was like $5. You could buy a whole case of Upper Deck, or unfortunately I meant Tops actually. Then sorry, we'd buy a whole box of cards, and we would tear through them, and we'd only pull out the Dodger players, and we'd throw all the rest away. And I'm thinking, okay, that was like 74, 75, 76. Which rookie cards did I throw away in that batch? But we kept the Dodger players and we kept the bubble gum, and that was it. So, and even today, I mean, I don't really collect cards. I mean, as a player, I mean, you guys sent us a ton. I mean, so I have a ton of cards at home, but I wouldn't necessarily collect them. If anything, I just kind of maybe organize them a little bit and, just really kind of collect the ones of myself and my teammates. So.
Great. So growing up, did you have any baseball idols or those players that you tried to emulate on the field? I
did. Starting with the Dodger days, it was Steve Garvey and Ron Say, Dusty Baker, any of those guys that played on those Dodger teams. And then as I got older and into high school, the only games you could watch were on WGN or WTBS. So it was always the Cubs or the Braves. So there for a period of time was Andre Dawson, who just got in the Hall of Fame. Way to go. And then Ryan Sandberg, and with the Braves, Dale Murphy. So, those were kind of my heroes during those stages of my life where I was, really developing my game.
Great. So did you have a favorite ballpark you like to hit in? If so, why?
Well, when that question's asked, I mean, every Major League ballpark's amazing. And, every one of them's a favorite ballpark at, when you first get in the game. But Texas, for me, was probably my most favorite just because I did the best there. I wouldn't say it was my favorite as far as the clubhouse and all that kind of stuff. But I always seem to play well in Texas. I don't know if it was the heat or the humidity, but I do have family in Texas, so maybe I was always trying to play better for the family, that was there to watch.
Absolutely. So do you have any pregame rituals that you used to go through before every game?
You know what? I try to stay away from them. I mean, the one thing about the season, in the game, it's so long. It's Groundhog Day every day. There's enough ritual in it built in itself. But, for the most part, if I found myself doing something that maybe started becoming a little bit of a ritual or routine, I tried to break it because, to me, it just added one more layer on top of the preparation that I needed to get ready. And, over the course of a season, you start adding up all these layers of rituals. It's hard to keep track of them. And then if you lose, you're like, oh, what did I forget? So
exactly.
I always tried to nix it, if I felt like I was, falling into a habit.
All right, so a lot of our fans, they love to get interviews and they love talking to players and, getting a baseball signed or whatnot. Now, do you like signing pieces for the fans? Or
You know what? I've always been good about it. I mean, I always feel that there's a place for that and a time for that. And if I'm on the ball, if I'm at the field, I always set aside time for that. I'm very structured though in that time and rigid in my schedule. So when I played, I always would set aside time right before the game, 5 to 10 minutes to sign or coming into the ballpark or leaving the ballpark. But outside of that, I'd probably have to say no. But I always made ample time, and I think the Angel fans know that came to the games. I think they would say that I was probably one of the few handful of guys that really made an effort to connect with the fans.
Cool. So what do you believe is the one Major League Baseball the one Major League Baseball record that's out there that won't be broken, if you had to pick one?
It would probably be Cal Ripken's record at this point. The longevity is just, that's something that, it's a blessing from the heavens. I mean, because, I would watch Cal Ripken play all the time and thinking, I do everything I can to stay healthy, but you can't. I mean, how do you defend against the trip or the fall or the stumble that pulls a muscle? I mean, you can't. It's the unexpected thing, and for somebody like Cal to play as long as he did, and not to miss a game because of one of those little things, or how many times did I wake up with the violent flu, and there's just no way I'm going to get out there. I mean, I just don't see how you can avoid that over the course of a career. So that's probably the one record that. I just don't see how that's going to be broken.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate having you here.
My pleasure.